Hey everyone, and welcome to the Entrepreneur Pod Guide, created to share the collective wisdom of everyday entrepreneurs who are bringing their visions to life, the ones in the arena. We've all read the same billionaire books, but what about the wisdom from the entrepreneur next door? The ones building, learning, failing forward, and figuring it out one step at a time. I'm your host, Britt Rodriguez, and every episode we're bringing you honest conversations, fresh insights, and lessons from entrepreneurs just like you. This is your place to learn, grow, and get inspired by your fellow business owners who are actually out there building businesses today, not just dreaming about them. So, let's get started.
Most of us are operating at a fraction of our full potential for whatever reason, whether it's reasons that we have come to believe about ourselves or because of external factors. And it's my dream and wish for everyone to be able to operate at their full potential.
Hey everyone, today I'm chatting with someone who brings the perfect mix of wisdom, presence, and heart. Sathvik Vasam from the Go All In agency. This episode is all about tapping into your potential, tuning into your intuition, and building a business that actually feels aligned. Trust me, you're going to walk away with at least 3 things you want to try immediately. So let's dive in. Sathvik, welcome to the podcast. So happy to have you. Thanks for joining. I'm so excited to chat with you.
Likewise.
Tell us about you, Sathvik, and especially about your agency called Go All In.
Yeah, so my name is Sathvik. I am based in the Midwest. My business is based in Chicago, but we operate with clients and business partners worldwide. If I can put it simply, most of us are operating at a fraction of our full potential for whatever reason, whether it's reasons that we have come to believe about ourselves or because of external factors. And it's my dream and wish for to be able to operate at their full potential. So not at the mercy of like what the world throws at us. I really believe that every single person and their journey and their story is a source of their strengths and their gifts that they can offer. And that's what I'm excited to and driven to offer to the world.
Yeah.
That might seem vague, but I can probably get more into it about who we work with and the kind of people that I love to play with.
Yeah, well, that's perfect. You just read my mind because that's my next question for you is, so who exactly are you serving with the Go All In agency?
Yeah. So up until this point, it's been visionary entrepreneurs. Um, um, Being an entrepreneur, being a serial entrepreneur myself, both bootstrapping companies and raising capital. I kind of have a pretty good understanding of uh, what entrepreneurs go through when they're making decisions, how they're making decisions, the kind of constraints and thinking that they have. And it's still my bread and butter. I'm also expanding this year now to work with athletes. Being an athlete myself, um, is just a lot of fun. I watch sports and I'm always thinking about, uh, and not only thinking about, but noticing how coaching and people's preparation for games and their workouts and their training, how that impacts how they're showing up. So expanding that area of my business this year.
What
Um,
sport did you do?
um,
Or
Primarily
do you do?
tennis.
Tennis,
Yeah,
yeah. So you still play tennis.
I still play tennis and
Fantastic.
basketball, and running and swimming now. I'm getting into that, training for a triathlon. So a
Oh,
bunch of stuff.
nice.
Yeah, a bunch of stuff. But at the end of the day, if you ask the high level athletes, they're going to say the mental part is the biggest thing. And
Mm.
so helping people get into that flow state is a big part of what I love to be able to help facilitate. And again, that applies to the business world as well. Maybe you're a programmer. How do you get into that flow state so you're most creative? How do you create safety within yourself so that you're making decisions and collaborating with your coworkers or your team or your business partners in a more effective way. So it all comes down to what your relationship is with your own mental state and the habits that you're cultivating to help you access your highest potential.
Yeah, I love the connection you make with athletes because I feel like that's in so many business books or, like personal development books, podcasts. We often look to athletes as a really great example of how things like visualization and like all your mental capacity, mental clarity can really affect your physical world and your performance. It's really cool. That I feel like so many things, it's like, oh, well, Michael Jordan does this and we apply it to business or we apply it to our personal lives. It's just really impressive. So I love that you kind of went that route and like you're actually working with athletes too, because there is such a connection there.
Hmm. Totally.
Yeah.
And it's something that because I've done it myself and, I understand that world. It's something that I can relate to them as well. So
Yeah.
we'll see where Go All In Agency goes from here, but I'm just following the route of what's most exciting for me and working with the people which bring more life and yeah, seeing where it goes.
Awesome. And so how do you support these entrepreneurs, especially like the visionary founders and the athletes? So what does your work with them look like to help them realize their full potential?
For sure. Well, the first step is to figure out where you are now and
Mm,
really get clear about that before we decide where we want to go.
mm,
Um, uh, One of the things that I feel that I do really well is to meet people where they're at.
mm,
And so that's one of the things that I do in the first couple sessions. Whether we decide to work together long term or not, I offer my energy for free for a couple sessions.
nice.
So that if that's all you need to kind of, get to where you want to go, awesome, take it and run with it.
Mm,
Because I know myself, I probably uh, was not able to afford as many things that I could have benefited from.
mm,
But if I can learn as much as I can with just some free content, um, and I notice that from people that are, interested in working with me, I don't want to hold anything back.
yeah.
So I don't, have a paywall where I'm just like, okay, I'm going to give you this stuff, but then, you got to pay to access my other stuff. Like I'm just going to give you everything, but if you want to continue to work with me, then, here's how we can, work together.
Yeah.
But yeah, so meeting people where they're at and, I like to think of it as, walking the path with you.
Mm,
I go by the Mental Sherpa online on socials. And so if people know what a Sherpa is, it's someone who's helping you climb mountains together. And so let's figure out what mountain it is that you want to climb. And, um, I'll share the burdens with you. I'll share the baggage with you and, let's get there. Um, so it just depends on what your goals are, and, um, what it is that you're committed to.
yeah, I love that. And going back to even your first thing of how you like first start with people. And this is something I noticed so much about you, Sathvik, the first time that we met. You are an incredibly generous person. I knew that about you before, but I didn't even know this. I didn't know that you had like your first initial meetings. You just meet for like generously to help others because you've been there before and you know what it's like to sometimes not be able to like afford the help you need or have access to the advice that you need. So I love that. I'm not surprised at all that you do that because it was very in line with just just even our first meeting that we had together, first time I met you and talked with you. Um, and so I love that that's something you do to give back to people because that's something we share is just wanting to share with entrepreneurs. Like it's the reason I'm doing this podcast. Coming across people like you, I often feel guilty because I get such great advice. But you haven't written a book yet, right? And so I can't just say, "Oh my gosh, you have to go read this book." So making a podcast is such a fun way for people to tap in and hear from you, right? And be able to hear your advice. And like we share that advice very freely. No one has to pay for this podcast either. I just love how free and generous you are. With people like in general, and then of course obviously we have people that want to work with us more and get in deeper, and therefore they are willing to put their energy as currency with us, so like, which is amazing. I'm always very impressed by and just like the 2 conversations we've even had, how generous you are. So thanks for doing that for people, first of all. And of course, like even you being on this podcast, it's more of like you sharing your advice and expertise with people that really need it. Okay, I have a question about your background because you were doing something before Go All In Agency. And so you've had a bit of an entrepreneurial journey yourself, as you mentioned. You talked about alignment and how at one point you were misaligned. Um, when you're dealing with founders or entrepreneurs, like especially those who are listening, what is like a tip you have where they could spot misalignment early in their journey and kind of, I guess, how to correct that?
Great question. Hmm. It helps to have. So let me back up. We all have blind spots, yeah?
Mm,
Even high level performers have blind spots. And that's why I believe everyone needs a coach.
yeah.
Um, and you can have coaches for different parts of your life. It's rare to have one coach who fits, all these different kind of, fields that we're operating in.
Mm,
So just starting off with that understanding that we might have blind spots
yeah.
allows us to be open to what we're getting shown and how we can adjust our thinking, our way of doing things. Um, that's number one.
Mm,
Like in coach speak, we would say that's being coachable. Yeah.
yeah.
Um, I think I'm going to say that it comes back to how you feel in your body
Mm,
and becoming really aware in your body. Um, these days, more, I think we're hearing the term somatic awareness a lot more.
yep.
The last 20 years or so, so much of the business speak has been around emotional intelligence.
Right.
And I think over the next couple decades, we're going to have more and more of this awareness around somatic intelligence.
Mm,
So how something lands in your body. I mean, high level entrepreneurs and people who make decisions are making decisions based on their gut feelings anyways.
mm,
That's something that I wasn't aware of. I thought everything was just like very, like, oh, it makes sense logically, or here's like the financial case for it. And yes, you want to have the backing for some decisions that you're making. But in my own personal experience, I've noticed that, these high level entrepreneurs are making gut decisions and trusting that it's coming up for a reason
yeah.
and not being swayed by lower level emotions. So if
Mm,
you're feeling fear, how are you addressing that and how are you working with it,
mm,
but not letting that limit or kind of color the decision that you want to make. It's like, oh, I'm fearful, so I'm gonna like do it this way or I'm gonna like scheme it this way. That's actually not where you want to be. You want to like
yeah.
understand what's happening in your system is like, oh, I'm feeling anxiety here, or I'm feeling overwhelmed here. And taking that into account, here's the decision that I want to make, um, which is going to be the best that I'm
Mm,
noticing that my body feels good to go after. So, um, so yeah, that's what I would go to, like just being open
mm,
and being receptive. If the listeners here have read the book, The Alchemist,
mm,
if you have checked that out yourself, you know, the universe speaks to us in many different ways, whether through other people, whether through you might be scrolling on social media and then you find something that really resonates with you. So we're always getting, feedback based on the kind of energy we're putting out there.
yeah.
So just being open to that, being stubborn as an entrepreneur is really important. Speaking as a stubborn entrepreneur myself, yet at the same time being open to what you're receiving and at the same time also being the second thing that I mentioned. Now I'm blanking, but yes, I think you're following.
Yeah, I got you. I think a lot of people have been told to actually not trust their feelings.
Mm.
And in that way, I think we've lost a little bit of that connection to that intuition. What do you say for people who are just not sure? It's almost like we overrode our instinct. We actually do it opposite from what you're saying that a lot of successful entrepreneurs do. Like we more go, oh, no, no, no. I'm just going to look at the black and white and see like,
Mhm.
what makes sense, like numbers wise or logically. I'm not going to listen to that side of myself. Like, what do you say to the entrepreneur like me who is very much, I just look more at the black and white because I don't know that I can trust my emotions?
Yeah, great question. I mean, uh, I used to be in my head all the time. Um, and I used to, spar intellectually with other people and be like, hey, this is the way it should be. And then, ignore my emotions along the way. And I totally get, yeah, and it's something that I have given myself grace for. I've forgiven myself for, thinking that way. That's really important for us to not continue to over intellectualize or beat ourselves up for doing that,
Mm.
because it's something that, you know, growing up in America, I mean, probably public schools around the world, like that creativity and that intuition is kind of beaten out of us. There's one right answer and then everything else is wrong.
Yeah.
Um, and societal programming and all those things that we've all heard of. Um, I think everyone is going to be different in how they get back into touch with their intuition. Each one of us has different gifts.
Mm.
Not everyone has the ability to make an awesome painting. Not everyone has the ability to, speak, inspiringly, or, there's different, levels to this, right?
Yeah.
And so trusting what makes us come alive
Mm.
and continuing to pour more into that to allow that to kind of flourish
Mm.
is probably the one thing I would recommend. Like, it's like, um, I heard this maybe sometime earlier this year, which is like, I don't have any kids, but I have nieces and nephews.
Mm.
And sometimes when I spend time with them, I'm like noticing this too. But it's like if I was a parent, and I noticed that my, 6-year-old kid is really good at, gymnastics, but she's really bad at math. Most people would say, uh, most people would think that you'd want to like support them in math so that they don't get far behind.
Right.
But the contrarian way to think about this is I would invest everything that I would have to making sure that they feel like they can explore everything with gymnastics.
Right.
So the same way, it's like, what is our like highest potential in some field of play that makes us really want to come alive
Mm.
so naturally? And let's just invest everything into that and then allow those gifts and that intuition to kind of sprout forth naturally without having to like, you know, without feeling like we're complying with something.
Yeah. And that's such a great piece of advice. I don't know, like through school or religion or whatever, how we get this, just even parenting society that we grow up in. But even the thought of just like enjoying what you do, what you enjoy in your work and just doing more of it almost feels guilty sometimes. It's like, oh no, I know I need to be doing the things that I don't want to do instead. It's like, no, like actually those things that make you come alive, have some of that freedom to actually do that more and like dive into that more.
I mean, I'm telling you, it's a lot of unlearning though that happens that need to,
Yeah.
right?
Because
So
my knee jerk reaction is, oh, but I probably should do these other things instead.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You're right.
Well, and the thing is, like, there, even the things which we have to do, the chores, the stuff that, we need to do to pay our bills, even those, there is a shift that we can commit to make within ourselves,
Mm.
where even those do not have to be the things which create so much internal resistance.
Mm.
Like that's where some of this work that, I do myself and that I lead my clients to do is like, okay, well, you're having trouble doing cold calling, let's
Mm.
say, right? It's not, it's not sexy. It's not like the thing which you get out of bed to, jump into. And yet, it's the thing that's going to move your business forward. And it's the thing that, is really the most important thing for you to do that day. But then you're procrastinating on it or you're hemming and hawing about it, like how you actually get down to do it. Well, there's something, you've probably also heard of, the concept of the most important thing that you want to do in this lifetime also carries a lot of resistance to it. You know,
Mm.
the I think it's from Stephen Pressfield's book, The Art of War,
Ooh,
or
yeah.
no, The War of Art, The
The
War of
War
Art.
of Art. Yeah.
Uh, so uh, So just because something is not fully enjoyable doesn't mean it's the thing that you just put away,
Mm.
but maybe there's something in there that you can face, which when you do face, you enable more gifts and strengths to flow through as well. So
Okay.
knowing which one is which is also really important. Like you need to discern, okay, is this something that, you know, like I can have AI do or like I can like outsource because it's just not adding enjoyment?
Mm.
And is this something that I need to really face because developing the discipline and the courage to face this head on is actually going to help me to take that next level for myself and my business.
Mm.
So like all of that, there's some discernment that has to happen for us as entrepreneurs.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's so good. Um, I love that. And like it's I think it's something every single one of us do. Like and as we get better and better and the business grows more and more, we can certainly focus on some of those things that we enjoy more. But there's just always, some stuff that has to be done that we have to do that's maybe not our favorite. So yeah, that's a great point. This episode is brought to you by Sathvik Vasam's Go All In agency. If you're listening to Sathvik and thinking, okay, I want this guy in my corner, now's the time. Go All In agency helps entrepreneurs move from stuck to aligned, overwhelmed to empowered, and operates with real heart and real strategy. If you want to work with him, head over to his website, goallin.agency today and book a call with him. That's goallin.agency. I'd love to talk about the somatic work and the like there are so many things that can turn off some entrepreneurs, and it's hearing words like that. And so to a skeptical entrepreneur, um because you do like somatic work, you do hypnotherapy, like anything like that, if they're a little bit skeptic, like
Right.
what could they do, or what do you recommend to help them kind of almost test drive these
Mm.
things, so they could see that they're actually beneficial?
Yeah. Great question. At the end of the day, and I'll say this, that all of the work that I do is grounded in practical application and real world results. If in working with me, you're not seeing the results, then we're not actually doing the real work. Um, Now, there's also something to be said for being patient and doing the foundational work that may not have the immediate results that drinking a bunch of coffee and just like chugging through stuff is going to have, but it's going to be more sustainable and you're going to enjoy your life and be more fulfilled for the long term if you actually do the deeper work that, I'm calling for.
Yeah.
So with those like disclaimers, what I could probably recommend people do to start off with, if this other stuff kind of sounds more woo woo, is make a list of all the things that you want to accomplish in your business and in your life. Let's just say, like in a medium time frame, let's just say for the next 3 to 6 months, not like, so far out, but not like this week. Like, here's like kind of like the high level goals that I'm aiming towards. And then prioritize them, rank at least like the top three, the top five or something, let's say. And then go through and see how excited you feel
Mm.
for each one of these and rank yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like, this is so exciting, or one being like, not really at all. And then see if you can move your excitement level higher up. Like, what's your protocol to make something more exciting for you?
Yeah.
And then see if there's something that you can clarify. See if there is anything, like, when you think about it, are you like, maybe, yeah, I'm really excited about it, but then I also feel some kind of anxiety about it. Maybe
Mm.
like, I'm like a little unclear. Like, wait, fuck. Like, what if I do that? I would have to then like worry about like paying more taxes, or like I haven't figured this part out. Like what if I get like 20 clients? Like how would I manage that? Like maybe you're like pressing on the gas pedal and, pumping the brake a little bit too at the same time. Like, you know, obviously we all know like we're the ones that are holding ourselves back from our highest potential. So like in what like are there potential scenarios which you're kind of like shying away from,
Mm,
or not wanting to face fully? So get fully clear, almost like you're doing like a mental audit
yeah.
on all your dreams and goals, or your most important ones at least, and then seeing if you're the ones, if you are holding yourself back in any way. And then now that you have everything out in front of you, see what tools or protocols can you use to help you get to that full excitement without holding anything back.
Yeah.
And then see what are the tools that you can incorporate on a daily or weekly basis so you can continue to check in with yourself,
Mm.
so that you can continue to tune up the excitement, tune up a sense of ease and relaxation into making these happen.
Nice. I love that. I had a coach who used to call it the woo and the do. So
Mm,
it's like, like you mentioned the word woo woo. And so sometimes, yeah, like for that skeptic, okay, let's take some of the woo principles and let's connect it to some action that you can just like get started on. And I think that's like a great activity to kind of get somebody in that kind of working.
for sure. I really
Yeah.
believe in emotional auditing yourself and
Mm,
seeing and putting it all on paper. I mean, one of the things that I have been guilty of in the past, I am not this anymore, but I know many entrepreneurs just have so much stuff in their head,
mm,
and they have, certain systems. Let's say, they're using a project management software, or they're using a CRM, or whatever tools that they have. But what are you using to manage your emotional state? How do you get
mm.
your emotions out and process them, and have it be in front of you so that you can process them, and look at them, and work through it. So
Yeah.
I would encourage, doing this emotional auditing process to um, let yourself focus your mental bandwidth on the most exciting, most creative things that you can do, rather than, regurgitating, old stuff
Yeah.
that doesn't need to be in your mind all the time.
I love that. That is great advice. I think that like I'm already like, yeah, I'm gonna take that and go go and do that. So thank you for that. And so that connection too, I think a lot of people might just be like, but does it really connect? And we've already talked about how like even athletes, like it connects all the time. Do you have like even a quick example in your own life or with a client where the inner work you did really gave like a an
Mm,
outward business, you know, result or some type of improvement or something like that. Do you have like something just from your own life or from a client's that you could share?
sure. Well, I'm I don't like to offer something to clients that I haven't tried out myself.
Yeah.
So I hope that I'm the living embodiment of everything that I talk about. So I have plenty of examples myself, but I think it would also be helpful to share something from a client. The one that's coming to mind right now is now a good friend of mine. Um, she just wanted like a life coach. She reached out to me. She was a referral through another now business partner and friend. She reached out to me because she's like, yeah, I feel like me and my husband, we want a life coach now, and you popped up, and let's just work together. And this was a few months after we had started working together, and she's like, there's this one person that like keeps coming up in my life, and he's well-meaning, but like I just feel like the boundaries aren't clear, and I feel like I'm getting not taken advantage of so much, but like I feel like I'm leaking energy whenever he's around, and like,
Mm,
he's awesome. He means no wrong, but I just want to like see if I can like have stronger boundaries.
mm.
And we just did this like very simple exercise that I learned in my NLP training program on establishing a visualization of your boundaries.
Oh.
So you can create multiple boundaries. Again, all of this stuff is just make believe. If you believe it and you just give it a chance, it'll work.
Yeah.
It's literally how it is. So like whatever it is you want to believe, we can try it out and we'll see how it, kind of, fits in with your life. So I was like, okay, let's try to imagine that you have a boundary just like right around you. How does that boundary look? Like, is it porous? Are you like letting in things in and out? Like, do you feel like energy is coming in, going out? Like, is there like is it like a bubble, or is it like more rigid? Like, how is it? Now let's imagine a larger boundary that you're now inviting other people into. It's, maybe in public spaces, you can kind of like see how that interacts with people. Is that more porous? Is that like permeable? Like what's happening? And then we're like just imagining these boundaries being created. And then, we put ourselves, I asked her to go into that situation where, this person is now entering her energy field and like, which boundary is he in?
Mm.
And then she's like, you know what? I think I have been letting him into my smaller boundary. And so that's why I was leaking.
Mm.
But this outer boundary, of course, I'm going to let people in. And, this is my awareness boundary of like sensing things and, doing, like interacting with people. And like he's cool right there, just like everybody else. But I've had this like, because I give so much, this is her talking. She's like, I give so much. And I've just made this inner boundary my outer boundary. So I'm gonna make sure that I'm like, in this inner boundary and just, everything that I'm gonna be very clear about what I'm letting in and what I'm like, how I'm projecting. But I'm gonna let this outer boundary, um, yeah, do the work of holding him here.
Mm.
And she's like, when that happened, and in the next few situations where she had the interactions with this person. She's like, I just feel so much more grounded and contained and sovereign and whole.
Wow.
And not only that, she's like, eventually it got to the point where he stopped coming into her life.
Mm.
And that was like a confirmation of like the universe works to present us challenges until we learn how to deal with them. And
Mm.
then once we shift our reality, the reality, the outer reality shifts as well. So
Wow.
that was such a cool like confirmation of like this is how the universe works.
That's amazing. What an amazing story. That was a great one. I'm glad you picked that. Some inner work you did that literally changed her life. That's very cool. Um, okay, I'm going to take a bit of a pivot. So AI is something new that's obviously coming all into all of our work all the time.
Hmm.
Like it's changing every industry in out there. I love it. It's what I do, right? I love AI, especially in coaching, professional coaching. There are wonderful ways to use AI, and there are ways where I just think like, it's never going to replace a human. It's never going to be better than a human touch. So I love to ask people, what is one thing you're like, oh man, I'm so glad AI can help with this, and
Yeah.
then AI probably should never do that.
Hmm. Well, podcasting, what we're doing, I hope
Yeah.
that, you know, we're able to figure out if people are actually real and, you
Mm.
know, that I actually have actual conversations with
Yeah.
people.
Now I'm like, wait, are you a hologram back
Right,
there? Is this
exactly.
really you,
No,
Sathvik?
exactly. So and I think we're moving towards, as you are probably going to agree with me, that, we're moving towards a priority for in-person and, live events. So that's something that AI is never going to, replace, talk about music and sporting events and experiences and all that stuff.
Mm.
Um, AI, of course, is a part of, my daily, workflow. There's some things that AI actually does well in the coaching sphere that I am experimenting with. One of my coaches actually is creating an AI chatbot
Nice.
where he's kind of uploaded all his his books and his courses and all his email newsletters and all that stuff. And I can like call it up and have a conversation with him. And one of the guys in our coaching program said like, dude, this is even better than talking with you. Uh, so, maybe it's more consistent than, having a coach who might be feeling off one day or, whatever. Um, I don't, I think there's pros and cons to that.
Mm,
As a practitioner, if my intention is to make my work available to more people, perhaps people can afford a $30 a month subscription to have access to, talking with me
mm,
rather than, whatever fees I might charge.
right.
Right? And supply and demand and all those things. So I think, um, yeah, again, it comes down to the intention of like what it is that you're trying to do. I am noticing that consumers are getting smarter about AI. Of course, as a business owner, top of the funnel activities are just blowing up with AI.
Mm,
You can automate so much outreach and content generation and all that stuff.
mm,
Um, I'm getting better at noticing even like the better AI content, even when that's being generated with AI. It's like it just turns me off a little bit.
mm,
Even if it's someone that I respect or like I like their books, but their AI content online is just like rubbing me the wrong way.
mm.
So I think it just has to be a conscious decision that
Yeah.
business owners have to make. Like, what is a trade-off? Is it worth you having you know, X%, uh, more eyeballs
Mm,
and potential people dropping into your funnel at the risk of turning off people, potentially for good. For me, I don't think it's worth that trade-off
yeah.
because it's something that it's like the golden rule, right? How would you like to be treated? Like, I don't want AI slop to come in. Like, I'm pretty good at like if I notice like AI slop in my feed, I'll like immediately report it if
Mm,
they
yeah.
explicitly say that this is AI, I'll like report it because like I think that's at a bare minimum, I need to know if it's being AI generated and I don't want to go down this rabbit hole of like this is like, this is trying to deceive me.
Yeah.
Um, and I just hate that.
Yeah.
So me personally, um, I think if people are being authentic and are being clear about their intention,
Mm,
then I'd be willing to have, those conversations and just making yourself available to people to meet and have face-to-face conversations or live conversations makes such a huge difference. Like I said,
yeah.
I make myself available if people want to book a 30-minute call with me. Um, that's that goes a lot further than like them reading 100 pieces of AI generated content that I've put out there.
That's probably one of the best answers I've gotten to that question because you very much talk about how oof, you cover the like the good and the bad so well in that answer. Like your coach who's making that bot. It's actually like Robert Herjavec, one of the sharks from Shark Tank. Like he talked about how like, really everyone should have like an AI clone. Like your AI clone should be better than you. Like
Mm-hmm.
when you said, like, I think you gave me better advice than you would have given me. So part of the, like your coach is doing, according to Robert Herjavec, is doing that correctly. Um, and I think there's something so wonderful in that. And like you said, like people, when you're trying to give so much of yourself because there's only one of you, but being able, like it's if you choose, like you said, it's like a conscious choice. If you choose like, hey, I want to help more people, I don't have enough time, but I can do this. And then
Mm-hmm.
they can get some good advice from me, some good structure, some good support that I wouldn't be able to provide otherwise. Like that's fantastic. Um, but then, yeah, I'm even thinking as like a person who does love coaching, um, there's for me the piece. I do like how you talk about like being misled by AI because that's something I see it on my Instagram ads all the
Mm-hmm.
time and stuff. It just comes across. It's so irritating. And as we all experiment with it too, we're probably going to make those mistakes as coming off a little ingenuine on accident, but just by trying to be more efficient, getting rid of those things that drain us, trying. But it's good to be conscious of that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but where I'm like, so thinking about the AI bot and how helpful it could be, at the same time, sometimes you really need some personalized help. And so you really do need to sit down with you, real
Mm-hmm.
you,
Mm-hmm.
and I need to be like, hey, this is what I'm going through. Like
Yeah.
personally, it's very niche and specific to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then your personal take will never be outdone by AI, right? And so that's a wonderful picture you painted there to show how great it can be and helpful. And then some
Mhm.
times when it won't.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, an AI bot will never invite you to its wedding, right?
Yeah.
Like what's the connection that you're making with a coaching, um, in a coaching program or, with business partners. It's like, um, one thing that I know for sure, like helping people process their emotions, like,
Mm.
even if an AI bot is trained in hypnotherapy, like even if it's like really like to that point, like I just don't see the ability for a non-sentient, entity to be able to like tap into the um electromagnetic pulse that a human being, gives off, and like the intuition that can be developed, even on Zoom, really, because I do, some of the work that I do, I can like sense this
Mm.
because of, the combination of all the things that I've gone through. Like I
Mm.
can sense that and I can, say certain things, or I can, guide you to, feel into certain things that just in, even the most high level AI bots, even decades into the future, I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I agree. That is such a good point and a very thoughtful answer. So
Mm.
I appreciate that. Thank you for
Yeah.
that. Guys, AI is moving fast, like blink and it's different kind of fast. And if you've been thinking, I know I should be using this in my business, I just have no idea where to start or what to do, I've got two pieces of good news for you. One, you are not alone. And two, that is what my business, Archer AI, was created to do. I talk with you, I sit down, I learn about your business, figure out where AI can save you time or make you more money, and then I build it for you. It's custom, simple, and done so that you can stay focused on what you do best. Grab a call at archerai.org and let's get you ahead of the curve. Let's talk business strategy real quick
Mhm.
because you are a very genuine, generous person. People, and I'm sure a lot of people coming to you, they're like, hey, here's where I am and here's where I want to be. Um, and sometimes sales in general can feel icky if it's done certain ways, especially for those of us who really want to be genuine and who are in business to truly help and support other people. But obviously we do have to, pay our bills and take care of our families and stuff like that. Um, in your experience, what is one way to attract clients
Mhm.
who align with you in a values-based way? What are your, without feeling salesy with that,
Mhm.
what advice do you give?
I love it. This is something that the landscape of marketing is changing so quickly as well. So
Mm,
I think the answer that I'm giving now may or may not apply in a few years or whenever
mm,
people listen to this. But here's what I'm noticing now is that uh, uh, fundamentally, I believe that we don't need to market as much as we've been led to believe, at
mm,
least in the Western world.
mm,
Um, we can focus more on uh, shifting our frequency to be to be flowers that attract the bees.
mm,
What I mean by that is, um, we're always being supported by the universe to expand. That's the nature of the universe, is to expand. So that means whatever it is that we are investing our time into, whatever it is that we're getting called to invest our life into, is naturally going to expand as long as we get out of the way. That means we are going to be able to expand our business, whether through marketing, whether through whatever it is that we think, without having to force it.
mm,
With that first principle out of the way, or kind of setting the foundation for it, um, when you say values aligned, that means we need to be very clear about what our values are. What
mm,
are our values? And not only what we say or what we want our values to be, but what are our actual values based on how we go about our day-to-day life. Some of the kind words that you said about me, about how generous I am, well, it's just the way that I am. Not, I don't have to tell you that. Hopefully that
mm.
just comes across by the way I am.
Yeah.
So, what do other people say about you? What is your brand like? As you as our listeners probably know, your brand is what people say about you.
Mm,
So what are the values which people say about you and that you don't necessarily have to tell, but just oozes from you?
mm,
So get very clear about that and work on yourself to make sure that the values that you do want to stand for are actually what you stand for. I mean, so much of corporate kind of culture these days is like there's such a mismatch.
mm,
Like I was just hearing about Starbucks the other day and how it's like, hey, we're for you know investing in our workforce and we want to call our baristas partners, but at the same time they're going against taking care of their workers in so many different ways.
mm.
So it's like there's clearly a values misalignment. And of course, the company's not going to do well in the long term.
Right.
So what is the point of you doing marketing activities when literally you're not values aligned with yourself?
Mm,
So this is, I know you're talking about marketing, but without these two fundamental, uh, you know, understandings
mm.
at, like really grounded, no amount of marketing is going to make up for you attracting people that are just not going to be values aligned with you.
Right.
So with those two, like let's just say you're very clear on that and like, okay, I feel like I'm really, I would like to attract people that are values aligned with what I'm embodying, and I can feel that. Then comes the work of like, uh, how do you engage with people? I don't
Mm,
believe this is something that I learned from one of my business partners that um, the sales cycle starts when someone um, like only when someone is engaging with you in a discovery call. I
mm,
think the sales cycle starts as soon as they interact with you online
mm,
or like they've seen you. Um, and the coaching doesn't start. Uh, Coaching already starts as soon as you're interacting with them.
mm,
Like sales, marketing, and coaching, in my experience, really all fall under one bucket.
mm,
I have a chance to coach someone or I have a chance to influence someone even on sales calls and even in my marketing material. So whatever it is that you're looking to, I mean, if you're a service-based business, how can you add value even before someone becomes a prospect or a client?
right.
Right. And if you're a product-based business, what can you offer without any gatekeeping? Like lead magnets and things like that. Sure, there's some room for it, but like I really love the approach of, Alex Hormozy. He's very clear about, what his larger vision is.
Mm,
And then he's just like, I'm going to give you stuff that, other people would charge $30,000 for
mm.
totally free, and is going to be better than what they're offering. And like that magnanimous generosity goes a long way towards building trust.
Yeah.
So I believe that's the best way of marketing. And then, of course, everything kind of trickles down into, once you're actually working with people, like how likely are they to recommend you to someone else? And
Yeah.
what's your referral rate? I aim for a 100% plus referral rate, meaning every person I work with, they're referring me to at least one other person on
Nice.
average. So like on a tangible
100%
perspective.
referral rate. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously, that's the best way to grow a business because someone already has experienced you.
Mm.
Um, and nothing takes the place of happy customers.
Yeah. Listeners, I hope you are getting as much from this as I am because I'm just thinking so many things just from you just in this one conversation, Sathvik, of like, okay, I need to go back and edit this. I can be more genuine and authentic. I think is the question. It's like, where can I be more genuine and authentic in every step of my business? And I got so much from what you even just said. And I'm like, yeah, even from the first touch point. And like, AI is great. Like it can get our voice sometimes, but like, is it really capturing your voice? And if the first touch point is not from you, if it's from something generated, like check and make sure that it's really got like your touch to it, right? That is wonderful advice. Thinking from that very first touch point of how you are, your like true values are aligned from the beginning. That's fantastic. So thank you
Mm-hmm.
for that.
Yeah,
Um,
and from a just to finish up that point,
yeah.
is I would urge urge people to experiment with it and see
Mm,
what your return on ad spend is like if you are doing if you're spending money on ads or what your organic content is like. Once you have really figured out what your values are, whether
yeah,
you're embodying them, whether you have created a culture within and in your team that aligns with that, and then see how that trickles down into how your marketing actually is.
that's amazing. I love that. And I will because like I think
Mm.
I'll be able to tell you how it goes because that's me.
Yeah.
I'll be able to put a little more personality into some of those first touch points and I can't wait to tell you how it goes.
Sweet.
So that's
Good to
exciting.
see.
Yeah, and other people too. Let us know if you do this. This is so fun.
Mm.
Okay, I have a question for you that goes it's actually back to it was something you touched on at the beginning. We have things in our business that we love that make us like that our flow, excite us, blah blah blah, and then things that make us just go ugh. Like what for you is your um the thing you love the most and
Mm.
the thing you cannot wait to delegate to AI to a human
Mm.
being, whatever it is. What is that for you right now?
Great question. Um, I'm gonna cheat and then give you a couple things that I
I
love.
love it. Let's do it. I think this
Uh,
changes, by the way, throughout the journey. But where you
yeah,
are right now with
yeah,
Go
yeah.
All In, I would love to hear what you're loving, and
Yeah.
then where you're like, oh God, I can't wait to get rid of
Uh-huh.
this.
What I love now is to listen,
Mm,
to like really, I mean, listen to myself and listen to others. Because everyone has so many um cool things that have that they have experienced, which
mm,
I love to like help people like bring that out from themselves. It's like I love to listen deeply, not only because I learned so much, but it feels like people these days, I mean, especially entrepreneurs who have so many responsibilities, especially if, families and, so many other things that are going on in your life. It's like, when do you actually really give space to whatever's coming up in your life?
mm.
So I feel like I do that so well and I enjoy doing that. And I enjoy like being curious and like going deep into whatever it is that people want to explore. People need to explore. So I I love that. I feel like that's one of my superpowers is to listen deeply.
Yeah,
And the second thing that I love is to co-create, to collaborate.
yeah.
Um, I'm working with so many awesome business partners, and we're just knocking shit out of the park with like so many cool things that are going to stand the test of time because we're just like really thinking on such systemic high level things. So I just love to um, like because I have done so much work on being values aligned, and I've given and being have been generous with what I have given. I feel like I'm just now starting to receive all the cool, amazing people in my life that are also values aligned, and we're just like vibrating at such a high frequency that it's just so much fun to like to participate in some of the cool projects that I'm getting involved in.
Oh, I love that. I like as you said that, I was like, oh, that sounds good. Like it just like honestly, talk about vibes and energy. I mean, like the second you started talking about being with those people and collaborating, I was like, oh, that like excited me.
Hell yeah.
Like that's such a great place to be. So
Sweet.
I love that you're there. Now, what does bother you? What are you like? I have
Yeah.
so many things. I feel like that's why I'm like, I feel like I have very few that I I mean, I love, and it could take 100% of my day with things I love. Don't get me wrong, but there are things that I'm just like, cannot wait, cannot wait to get there, or that I am trying to use AI to like get off my
Yeah,
plate. So what is
for
it for you?
sure. We talked about this right at the beginning. Video editing.
And you too? It's the worst. Video editors, God bless you,
I
because
know. Yeah.
that is honestly one of the worst things in the world to
If
me.
you find a good one, let me know. Maybe we can share.
I am on the hunt, dude,
Yeah.
for my life because I hate it. Yeah. I
Yeah.
hate it.
I'm getting to like it more because um let me rephrase that. I'm learning to like it.
Ooh.
I don't know how much more I can like it than where I already am right now. I've done a lot of work on it. Um, the part that I have started to like, at least, is knowing that my attention and care into like this tiniest little decisions that I'm making. Oh, should I cut out this like that someone said? But because it like flows, it's like, some of these decisions I'm just like, dude, I'm like really tweaking on this stuff.
Yeah.
Like that used to really bother me, but I'm like, okay, at least I know that I'm putting so much care and attention. If no one listens to it, it's okay. Maybe people, in 10 years will listen to this and they're like, okay, yeah, he was already putting out like quality content.
Mm.
So like I've started to be more patient with myself. And I've realized that it's so much easier now than ever before, especially with some of the tools that we talked about. Before you used to like have to import and export and then like do this and like layer and all this stuff. So I'm grateful that it's as easy as it is now. Because if it
Right.
was like before, I don't like it just would not have been even, possible for me.
Yeah, same. I don't think I would have done this.
Yeah.
And I love this, but I feel so much more, it's like way more manageable now because
Mhm.
it is a full-time job to edit things like this.
Yes.
And
Yes. And yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
it can be, if
And
you hate
people
it,
who don't
it's,
know just don't know.
yeah, yeah. I, yeah. I love that answer because I could not agree with you more. Also, if anyone listening has great advice for us to bypass that
Or
video editing
if you're
process,
interested in working with us, yes, on
yes,
this.
please
And
reach
if you
out.
love video production, and some people love it, and so let's just,
Again, God bless you. God bless you. I love the one man's trash is another man's treasure, and I believe that fully. There are things I do all day that I love that people hate.
Mhm.
Could not do like I love making things on Canva, for instance. I love like graphic
Mhm.
design stuff. My
Right.
mom hates it, and she's like, "Can you please just do this for me?"
Mhm.
And I'm like, "Yeah, I
There you
got
go.
you. Two
Exactly.
seconds. Here you go."
Right.
And I
Right.
love it. And so
Mhm.
I know that there are people out there that love nothing more than sitting with a bunch of video and
Yeah.
editing the heck out of it. And
Yeah. Yeah.
if so, we need your name and number. So please
That's
come
right.
with me and
Exactly.
stuff.
At the very least, that would be awesome.
Yeah, yeah. I love it.
So that was an easy one. Maybe I can give you just a little bit harder one, just in like something that I just don't like or I would rather not do. Um, I would rather not be opening up so many tabs. I'm like looking at my browser screen, just like I need to figure out what my process is, where I'm
Yeah.
like, just getting more organized in the digital age is like something that is like, um, it just takes up more bandwidth than I would like it to. And I still
Mm.
haven't figured out what my process is like, where it really works for me. And, I am really a big believer in like, you don't have to have everything organized, but if you do want to find something, you need to be able to find it in like 10, 20 seconds. And if it takes
Mm.
you longer than that and you have to like scramble and do all this stuff, then it's probably not working for you.
Do you think
So
that's a visionary problem? I feel like do you think that's something that us visionary entrepreneurs might all struggle with? Or that might be common?
it could be, I mean, it could be, it could
Yeah.
be,
I'm just wondering because I feel like details aren't typically our thing, like the granular. And sometimes it comes into that, like really strict organization.
yeah,
And it might be
could
something
be.
that a lot of people struggle with.
It could be. And so, like I said, I'm still working on it. I haven't, I'm not, I can't say that I can even offer any advice on it. I've tried so many different things.
Yeah.
So I'm just being honest about like, stuff that I'd rather not do is like, how about someone go through all my tabs and like, uh, organize them and then prioritize them about what I need to be focused on so that I just have these ones that I know that I'm like going through every single day, but then all these other ones, which I've opened up on, because of meetings that I want to explore. It's like, all right, I just want someone to focus on making it bite-sized for me.
Yeah, that's great. That is great. So my partner, Anna, do this. Like that's her thing. She loves that stuff. And that's
Mm.
another, one man's trash, another man's treasure. Like it drives me crazy. I just let her go for it. And I'm like, you go for it. This back here, all her.
Uh-huh.
All
Nice.
her. I was like, oh my gosh, this is like so overwhelming. There's all these different shape sizes, books, whatever.
Mm,
She just did that. I was like, cool.
nice. It looks great.
So
She
you
did a
need
great
someone
job.
like that, right? That's like, I got
Yeah.
you. I can help
Yeah.
with that. I love that.
Exactly. Right.
Thanks for sharing that because I think we all have things that we really love in a day and don't love, and we can feel kind of alone. That's another reason why I'm doing this podcast. So we entrepreneurs do not feel so alone all the time, so we can learn from
Mm,
each other. And sometimes I'm sure there are some entrepreneurs out there that are like, I could do that. I have all these tips and
mhm,
tricks. I figured it out. Um, and so share that. And that's what I love about the entrepreneur journey. And it's hear about things that, oh, like he also struggles with that. Or, oh man, he loves that too, but really hates that. Or like, that's cool. I actually love that. And it's something that he struggles with. So I think it's really fun to share those kind of things. So thanks for sharing that. Now I want to talk about Go All In real quick. A year from now, Sathvik, if we're talking about your agency, what's your hope and dream for it?
great question. I feel like things are changing by the month for me, by the week even. So it's
Entrepreneur journey. There
yeah,
you
yeah,
go.
for sure. And especially me, just because it's been one of my focuses for this year, is to surrender on outcomes and just focus on being present. Um,
Excellent.
but because I'm focusing on these right now, I can say that um, I would love to have um, presented some keynotes at some conferences or organizational gatherings. Um, so that's something I'm working towards, is to be a paid speaker. So that would be awesome, do that throughout the world, not just virtually, but in person.
Yeah.
And that would hopefully be contributing to my being able to offer my consulting gigs for different businesses as well.
Yeah.
Um, I would love to work with more athletes. Um, just now started that, so I just had my first paid athlete last month, so
Right.
working up. So I'd love to work with them. And oh yeah, I can say this. There's some sustainable regenerative communities that I am working with at the moment that I would like to create more um, templates for people to incorporate in their own cities and countries.
Nice.
So I think that's one of the things that not I think it is one of the things that I'm most excited about the future, is that um, we're going to move towards finding community wherever we're living, and not. I mean, I used to live. I'm in suburbia now in Kansas, but I also lived in the city in Chicago, and both do not allow our natural social beings to feel as connected with the people living around us.
Hmm.
And so I would love for us to move into, lived communities where we're supporting each other, where we're sharing resources, where we're, living off the land even.
Hmm.
And it's all tech enabled, with governance and like currencies and things like that. I'm really excited about that because I think that's going to stand the test of time, and I think we're going to be moving towards this century, finding community where we live instead of only looking for it online,
Hmm.
and just putting up with us not being as connected as we need to be as social creatures.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's so interesting. First of all, everybody, if you can help him out with this,
Mm,
reach out. And then that's fascinating because I love how you're like, it's actually tech enabled, like tech. And I love when tech inspires more real
mm,
human connection.
mm,
And that's a fascinating way you've talked about it just then. Like as you know, like I live I live very close to Disney. And so it's so funny because that was like one of Walt Disney's dreams is using
mm,
technology to make our lives like Epcot. I don't know how much the listeners know about Epcot, but it's certainly like the dream of it was like using technology, but to build incredible communities that help people live easier and live more happier lives, more connected lives.
mm,
And so I think that's so interesting what you're talking about is like a very realistic
mm.
version of that. So that's
already
fascinating.
happening. Yeah, it's already
Yeah.
happening. And yeah, if any of this resonates with people and they want to learn more, reach out to me and we can have a conversation about making this happen wherever you are.
Awesome. Awesome. One more question for you
Yeah.
before we wrap up.
Mm,
Okay. If you were to recommend one podcast or book
mm,
or Instagram profile,
mm.
okay, to our audience, what would you recommend for people
Other than your podcast?
other than this one, obviously?
Uh,
Other than the future book you're going to write.
Good. Thanks for putting that out there.
Just throwing it out there. But yeah, what do you know, and our own Instagram profiles, obviously. But yeah, is there anything that's inspired you recently in one of those forms, a book or a podcast or a person
Yeah.
that you would recommend?
hmm And this is for like visionary entrepreneurs.
Yeah, it could be something as silly as like yeah, like I Love Good Hang by Amy Poehler. If you're looking for a good
Mm,
podcast, check it out.
hmm
Is it going to have business advice? No, but it's great and it's so entertaining and makes my life happy. It
Yeah.
could be business, it could be business adjacent, it could have nothing to do with that. Just something
Yeah.
that you've enjoyed or has inspired
Yeah.
you that you'd like to recommend.
It's a good question.
Hmm.
I mean, I can talk about some of the books that have really inspired me. Did I talk about the 4 Hour Work Week? I think I
No,
did.
not on no, not on this. We talked about The Alchemist,
The
but
Alchemist,
yes,
yeah.
4 Hour Work
Which
Week.
I didn't really love when I first read it, to be honest. But it just came up right now in the conversation.
Yeah,
4 Hour Work Week was one of the books that changed my life.
that's
Um,
Tim Ferriss,
Tim
right?
Ferriss
Is that
book,
the right?
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It sounds so spammy and but it's like it's more for me, at least the way that I took it, was more of a philosophical exploration of not living a life deferred.
Hmm.
Most people are like, oh, put up with, a 9 to 5 and doing all these things so that you can then retire and then do the things that you want to do.
Hmm.
Instead of that, let's not defer life and let's kind of live it in the moment and do everything that you want to do in each moment. Um, so yeah, it's something that I've read a couple times. I've gifted that book multiple times. So that's a really good book in for certain people. And I'll say this other book, which I really liked, which is The Diamond Cutter.
Ooh, I've not heard of this one. This is new to
Yeah,
me.
The Diamond Cutter is applying Buddhist principles to building a business.
Oh,
So good.
love
Um,
that. Do you know the author? If not, I
uh,
can look it up.
Michael Roach.
Michael Roach, The Diamond Cutter.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Fantastic.
really good
Buddhist
book.
principles to business.
And this guy was able to apply, like he went through this process of becoming a geshe, which is like kind of like a lama, I guess. Like I don't know what the hierarchy is like, but imagine like he got like a PhD in Buddhism or something, studying in Nepal or Tibet or something. And then he came back to the States, and he built a diamond business and he ended up selling it for, I don't know, some like 9 figures
Wow.
to Berkshire Hathaway.
Wow.
So he's done it. And so like some of the principles that he talks about, how you can incorporate it into your business, is something that I've been using the last few years.
Oh, that's great. Okay. I have read Tim Ferriss, but that one's going on my list. So I will
Sweet.
I'm sure, yeah, and I can definitely vouch for the 4 Hour Work Week. Great, great principles, great ideas in there. And I'll be checking that one out. So thank you for that
Yeah.
rec.
Yeah.
Okay. This has been amazing. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat. The most important question I can ask you now is for anyone who wants to know more,
Mm,
follow along with you, work with you, where can they find you, Sathvik?
appreciate that. And thanks for staying with me. I know we were, you know, way over time, but hey, I'm having a good time and I
Me too. Me too.
appreciate it.
I've learned so much. I can't imagine what what other people are going to learn from this. So thank you.
Have fun video editing this.
God help me. Please, please AI help me out.
Um,
Yeah.
People can reach out to me. My website is goallin.agency. You can book a call, an intro call with me there as well. Check out some of my stuff that I've posted. You can find me on socials at the Mental Sherpa.
Love it.
Um,
I
so
love that
that
name.
that's a way, yeah, that's a way you can just, directly DM me or get in touch with me, follow along. And yeah, that's it.
I
Right?
love
Did
it.
I miss anything? I think that's it.
Yeah. I mean, to me, that's always the best thing. We got your site and we got your Instagram, and
Yeah.
we can follow along that way. Instagram, LinkedIn?
Instagram, yeah, LinkedIn, you can find me, Sathvik Vasam.
Okay.
And yeah, follow along. And I really believe we're all in this together. And so if any of this resonated with you, there's a reason it resonates. And if you feel, if you feel like there's something that we can talk about, that we can build together, reach out and at least, you know, you're acting on what the universe is giving you. I really believe that if there's anything that you took away from this, make the first step or just make one small step towards whatever it is that you feel most called to, and the rest will kind of fall into place. If you're overwhelmed by whatever's happening in your business or in your life, one step at a time, that's all it takes.
That's amazing. And I think my thing from this is to go be generous, everybody. Like, go be generous. It's going to come back to you. Share what you know, help other entrepreneurs, just like Sathvik has done for us today. Thank you, Sathvik.
Thank you, Britt. Thank you for your generosity.
Oh man, what a fun episode. Sathvik brought so much honesty and clarity, and I hope you're walking away feeling as inspired and grounded in your entrepreneurial journey as I am. And listen, yes, it took me an embarrassingly long time to edit this, but the final cut, so worth it. I'm so happy I get to share conversations like this with you. Thank you all for being here, and we'll see you next time.